Peace begins at the point we decide it begins, as we can cultivate it deep within ourselves. In today's current events, it becomes very important that we choose peace over fear. Fear struggles to survive in the resistance that peace offers. It is becoming increasingly important that we center and ground ourselves. One of my greatest struggles has been I have not felt heard in many settings within my life. I'm sure many people feel the same way. I still feel like my voice is relatively unimportant, while at the same time having this deep knowing that I hold a great wisdom within. I remain quite conflicted within myself. I express this in the hope that those who feel the same way might watch this and understand that they are not alone in feeling this. I struggle to align my inner wisdom with my outer actions, as I have been struggling to find peace in a world that seems to be increasingly filled with fear. Can peace be found in running away from things? For a short while, perhaps. But if we avoid or run away, then might we again be sent the same lessons? We end up running towards similar things as we start to run as fast as we can away from what no longer serves us. That is, until such time as we go within and make it our mission to heal. It feels like we're on this never-ending loop until we've learned that lesson, and once we've learned that lesson, the same lesson is sent to ensure that we have learned the lesson. I personally have realized that to move away from a person, place or situation is not in itself a bad thing. In fact, sometimes it is needed so that we can properly heal. The important thing is that we do not run away from ourselves and our own feelings, which is what many of us seem to do. This becomes an abandonment of self as we try and fit in the best way we know how. I feel like I have been receiving a ton of lessons lately, and I sometimes wonder at what point is enough enough. But I am seeing them as lessons, and that they are happening for me and not to me. I have come to this understanding within myself that eventually I will find my place in this world. I will find happiness. I have decided I will not stop. I keep going. I push through no matter what. If I go backwards now, then it is obvious I will be sent more of the same lesson. So it becomes very important to move forwards and push through to greener pastures no matter what. Most would be in a deep depression at this point, or would be a drug addict or an alcoholic, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to even entertain this as a thought. I have control over myself. I make that choice each and every day to get out of bed and to live life like today is the day that everything will sort itself out. When we feel we don't fit in anywhere, it has a very strong effect on our mental health. I've gone through many great struggles where I felt the weight of the world upon me, but I keep going anyway. I push through. If we decide we can't, then this story we tell ourselves becomes true. At this point, we simply can't. Similarly, if we decide that we can, then we most definitely can. The problem becomes that so many give up before their can has the opportunity to transmute into an achievement. People outside of us don't necessarily realize that they are making us feel like we don't fit in. Sure, it's possible that they do, But even if they do realise, what does it matter really? Is it any of our business what they think of us? Can we find a peace within us that cannot be moved by those words or the actions of another? I myself are working on this. The interesting thing is that each time I level up, I am then sent a new and more potent lesson. It has kind of turned into a game for me to get to this new level of inner peace, with a view that I might no longer look outside of myself for any form of validation. When we live from a place of fear, then we focus on the negatives. We focus on the shortcomings of others, and sometimes of ourselves. Quite the opposite becomes true when we live from a place of peace. But if our foundation isn't firm, then fear can creep in and potentially take over. What we end up focusing on very much depends on whether we are living in consciousness or living too much or not enough in our ego. It also comes from whether we choose to live in a state of fear, influence, control, negativity, greed, and all those kinds of things, or whether we choose love, peace, forgiveness, and harmony. It's important to note that oneness with ourselves does not correlate to people-pleasing and doing what other people want us to do. It also does not correlate to being so selfish that we only live for ourselves. It is this happy medium somewhere in the middle where we use all our senses when living life, where we offer respect to those who offer us respect, where we offer unconditional love to those who offer us unconditional love, and we simply forgive those who don't offer these things to us. And rather than wishing poorly on them, we send them love and light. I have no doubt that things will work out in my life. My intuition tells me that this is the path I must take, and I must not veer off this path. Does anybody know what is best for me? Or for any other person, for that matter? How I am supposed to be is for me to determine. If you can't accept me exactly as I am, it really doesn't matter, as there are plenty who will. Having said that, once we choose to live consciously, we accept others exactly as they are. I find it interesting, as I have had to shift my value system on what is selfish and what is not. I used to think it was selfish to put myself first. I am now realizing that it is not selfish. It is what is required to be able to maximize on the difference I can make out in this world. If I live as a martyr for others, then I abandon myself and make myself small. We must see it as we can expand out larger and larger and create this massive change out in the world. If only we can balance out our ego and balance out our desire to be selfish against our desire to be a martyr. If we go either end of this spectrum, it is not helpful, and so it becomes very important that we aim for a place somewhere in the middle. I trust this will help you gain some perspective on where you are at when it comes to fear and peace, and how you might consciously tackle this important issue. Because fear becomes the barrier to love, peace and harmony. Love and peace can prevail, but only if we are intentionally and very consciously aiming for love and peace. Make sure you are intentional in all that you do. If we manifest from an unconscious place, then who knows where we'll end up. Let's become the peaceful warriors. Let's keep pushing through, despite all those things that seem to be determined to hold us back. Let my strength be a testimony to your strength. Look within and find that strength and determination to push through. Because every season has its beginning and its end. Continue to have hope, and there is no doubt you will see the results. We are more powerful beings than we can even comprehend. And when we have a strong belief in something, and this belief comes from a pure place, then we create from that place. The same is true if we manifest from a low vibrational place. So set your intentions today. Start making conscious choices and move confidently towards your goals. If you enjoyed today's video, I would encourage you to like and subscribe. My name's Rachel, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.